To say the Austin Healey has a special appeal to me would be a major understatement. I've loved these cars from the first one I saw, and today I'm the proud owner of number 598, a 1953 BN1. So when I heard that Gerry Coker was going to be at the 2008 Austin Healey Conclave in San Diego, I had to go. Not only did I want to meet Mr. Coker, I wanted to sit down, talk with him, and videotape the entire conversation. Gerry Coker turned out to be one of the most gracious and entertaining gentlemen I have ever had the pleasure to meet. Throughout the event, he took the time to talk with a room full of people, sign everything that was placed before him, all the while connecting on a personal level with those presenting their mementos.
Thank you very much.
He handed out awards, and he posed for pictures, and he did this all with a constant smile. Like I said, quite the gentleman. And now, here's my conversation with Gerry Coker.
I was looking for a new job, and a friend of mine, an Italian engineer who I'd worked under as an apprentice at Humber, and incidentally he designed the first Healey chassis with a train link suspension. I didn't know that at the time, but anyhow, I met him, and he said, "How's everything going?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for a different job." So he said, "Right, well," he said, "it's just, you might be interested. A friend of mine's looking for an engineer, a body engineer." So I said, "Oh, well." He said, "Yes." He says, "Donald Healey," which really didn't ring much of a bell to me. And so he said, "I'll arrange an interview for you at his home in Leamington," which he did. So I went along and showed Donald the sort of things I was doing, and I had sketches of cars that I'd done, just fun
Okay.
stuff. And that was like a fun hobby, drawing cars. And he said, "Yes, I think you'd fit in very well as the engineer on the new Nash Healey that were being produced near Birmingham. The bodies would be come in unfinished, and they would be fitted onto a Healey chassis and painted and trimmed and finished off there before they went to the dealer." And so it was my job to supervise these or oversee the production of these new Nash Healey bodies, cars shown. And so that's what I went for. And I did little updates on them, and I'd say to him, "That doesn't look quite right. Do you think we should change these?" He said, "Well, could you do that?" And I said, "Yes, I'll do that." So I'd do a drawing and change the stuff and so on. Well, and that's the way it went. And one day he said, "I'm going to thinking of making a car between the XK120 and the MG. There's a market in there, I think." And he'd just come back from a visit to Nash in America to do with the engines. And so he said, "Give it a try, see what sort of shape you can come up with." So that's the first thing I really styled from 1950 until 1957. And I haven't styled anything since, because I'm not a stylist, you see. I'm an engineer. And that's when we left Healey, which I went in as their engineer, and I was still their engineer when I left. I didn't go up or down or anywhere. So we decided it's time we got out of there. And this same friend that introduced me, that said, "You want to go to America, you'd like that, you'd like the weather," and so on, which of course, that's 50 years ago, which of course we did. So then I went to Chrysler as an engineer in their styling, and then I went to Ford's as an engineer in their styling. But I really started styling and finished it with Donald Healey. I've done all his cars from 1950 to 57. So the Streamliner for the salt flats, 100S, his own personal coupe, the 106, And that's, you know, things in between that were never produced, made, or whatever, or partly made and dropped and things like that. I've finally convinced him that this is the shape, this is the best shape I can do. He keeps saying, can you come up with something else? And I can't come up with anything else. This is it. So he was going off on a trip to America, and he said, well, I'll be off for a couple of weeks, see what else you can come up with. Well, after 2 weeks, I decided I couldn't come up with anything better than I had, and I've got to convince him. So I'll cut out a full-size shape, pin it on the board, on the wall. I had this huge drawing board, pin it on there at ground level, and then when he comes in, there it is. Well, he comes in, and there it is. And he says, oh, you're still trying to sell that then? And I said, yes. I said, that's the best I can do. That's it, the best I can do. So he said, well, all right then, we'll go that way then. So he walks out, and he says, oh, I want a fold flat windshield on that. So I said, well, how can I put a fold flat windshield on the scuttle that's folding one way and the curved windshield's folding the other? And he said, well, you'll think of something. And the door slammed, he'd gone. So, well, the only way I could do it, of course, it's not one of these, it didn't take me a minute to figure it out, it took some time to decide how I can do it. And I decided the only thing really I can do is to take the windshield off the whole body with a linkage and lower it. So that's how it got there. And of course, it looked good. May not be very good, but it looked good. But it does, if you've got a 100-mile-an-hour car, it'll put another 6 miles on it by reducing the frontal area, reducing the resistance. And so, I mean, it does help.
Right. Yeah.
Although anyone that's got one moan because all the flies go in their eyes, of course they don't think they could wear goggles because there's no windshield there. They were pretty expensive to do, I think, and they're very easy to break, you know, if you... It's a two-man job. And you don't do it every day before you go to work and then put it up when you get there. It's a once in a while fun thing. The ones with the windshields down, I mean, that's the car to have. Of course, yeah. I would say that.
Oh.
But, that's what everybody tells me. Then he had to get somebody in that could build it, you know. So he gets in onto Tickford's. They made Aston Martins, Tickford Healey's, big company in coach builders in England. He gets hold of them. They come out and look at the drawings, and see, I do it. I forget what scale, a 3/8 scale or quarter scale or something like that, and then transfer everything onto a full-size board behind me. So they've got a scale drawing. That's how I styled the cars. Normally, a stylist does a picture, used to do a picture and make it so that it looks better than it is. Especially the Italians would have on their renderings, they'd have huge wheels and a very sleek body on these wheels. Well, we didn't have time for that, so before I started, told him, or asked him, I said, the only way I can do this really, so that you can see exactly what you're going to do, I'll do it in scale. So I'll do scale side view, scale front view, scale rear view, scale plan view, and then what you see is exactly what you'll get. So that's what I did. I mean, I could change a line 1/8 of an inch in the curve or something, makes a big difference, which I'd spent a lot of time doing that, changing a curve a little bit, the rear fender. I'd leave on Friday night for the weekend and come back Monday thinking that's it, and come back Monday, that isn't it at all. Nearly, but it's not quite it. So he brings the Tickford people in, they look at it, show them the drawings, they explain this, that and the other. So they get the job. So I go over there with the drawings and stay there for 2 or 3 days a week and they've got their surface layout draftsman that they lay out the surface exactly from my drawings, and then they transfer it and make a wooden car, and put metal aluminum around the edges for hammering the cockpit and so on. So that's how that came. I've forgotten how long it took, probably 6 months or something before the thing was, maybe a bit longer. I don't really remember. Okay. But I didn't. The thing is that I designed the whole car, all the badges and the instrument panel and the seats, and which is a bit unusual to have one guy just design everything, and the straps that open the door and all that stuff. So they did all that, and the front, your grille, the early Healey's were narrow like that. And I said to him that, you know, we should try and get your original shape in there somehow or other. I'll do the front with your original shape, which is distinctive, and people will know that that's a Healey coming down the road, not something else. So that was fine. The thing is that with a prototype and limited amount of funds, when it's made, that's it. There it is. You know, you better like it. It's not like Ford or GM or any of these people who can throw it in the scrapyard or make a huge scale clay model and colour it and so on. So the thing comes in, and I really didn't like the grill, but I thought, well, tough, you know, I've done it. And he didn't like it either. Well, he didn't mind at first, but eventually he didn't like it. So he said he's getting near to Earl's Court to show this car, which was make it or bust type of thing. And he said, I'm not going to show the car, I've changed my mind. So I said, well, that was a damn shame after all that work. And he said, well, I don't like the grille. And I said, well, I don't either. It's too narrow. It needs another couple of inches on each side. But I said, there it is. And he said, could you change it, do you think, in a week? And I said, oh, yes. I didn't say all you need is money, but that's, that's what it amounts to. So we changed the grille, and he still didn't like it. So when it got to the show, he said, shove that car up against all the potted palms and things. I don't like the front. I don't want people to see the front of that car, which is pretty ridiculous, really. There's this, then, beautiful rear end sticking out of these bushes, and nobody could see the front. So all the automotive journalists said, why is it rammed up against the bushes, ornamental shrubs? He said, I don't like the front. They said, well, you better drag it out because everybody else does. So then they dragged it out, and of course eventually it finished up as the star of the show with the barricade all round it. So you couldn't beat that. And then the best bit was, of course, I all admired Italian designs, you see, so that influenced me. And the best bit to me was when one of the motoring journalists said, who was the Italian who designed your car? So that, he told me that. He said, you're right. He said, one of the guys said, who's the Italian? He said, oh, I just told him just a young local lad did it.